looking live at sold-out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Philadelphia Eagles. And why the Philadelphia Eagles 0-16? Because they suck. They've always sucked. They sucked this week. They sucked this Saturday. And the Eagles are always going to suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? Thank you so much. Excuse me a second. My dog wants to slide in next to me here. I got to push the chair out of the way. Hold on a second. Oh, welcome to the Gridiron. I'm going to try to shoot my mouth off there for about 30 minutes tonight. Anybody got anything to say? Please feel free, fire away, throw in the chat box. I check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So if anything starts getting put in there, I always see it. I always respond to it. Okay, so please feel free and fire away. Before I get started, anybody wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. I have in the description box below, the top link in the description box, it takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon, second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third one is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them and everything. There's loyalty badges, which are pretty cool. There's 8 different loyalty badges. Each one is a different Giants helmet. Now, each one's got their different design and all and everything. And the older the Giants helmet is, the longer you've been a supporter of my channel. If you get the leather helmet, okay, loyalty badge, that means you've been a supporter of my channel for a long, long time. There's also 4 different emojis you get. You can use them in the chat box, or you can use them, I guess, making a comment or something like that. Eventually, there will be a 5th one coming up, but right now I got 4 of them. There's I got them all made up on Fiverr. I get every time I look at them or I think about it, they crack me up. I said, but eventually there will be a 5th one coming out, but you can use those emojis, I guess, in the chat box and all that and everything. So if anybody wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I put a video out or I go live, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. Right now, I got 4,829. I think before, well, let's see, what did I have here before today? 4,000, yeah. So today I crossed over the 4,800 mark. I started today with 4,791. So that would be, hold on. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. So we get 9. So far, I've gotten 38 new subscribers today. I've gone from 4,791 to 4,829. So far, I've gotten 38 new subscribers today. It's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, also, I'm sure it helps because the Giants are doing well. They, in the playoffs, they want a playoff game and all. And I'm sure that, the amount of subscribers I wind up getting, like in the off season, will go down per day, But I mean, right now, it's really, really doing good. I'm getting like 30 or 40 subscribers every day. It's absolutely phenomenal. It means so much to me. And anybody who is subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. It means the world to me. And then finally, in the description box below, okay, there's 2 links to Facebook. The top one, okay, takes you to a group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron, right? It's very original. I know everything I got is New York Giants, the Gridiron. The YouTube channel, the Facebook group, and the Facebook page, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But the top link, it takes you to a group, okay? Right now we have over 2,000 members in there. Okay, we just crossed over the 2,000 member mark about a week or so ago. It's every day. There's chock full of stuff in there every day. I must have put 15 to 20 different pictures. I just put a video out here of Ron Dixon running back the opening kickoff against the Eagles in the 2000 playoffs, right? But all kinds of stuff, whether it's a post, a video, or a picture or something. I'm just putting all kinds of stuff in here. And so the nice thing about this is in the group is that not only it's me, okay, but if you're a member of the group, you can post in there as well too, right? So please feel free, click on that link and go to the group, okay, and become a member. And then finally, there's one more link, the Facebook link, okay, this the second one, it takes you to a page, okay? It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Very original, I know, but I just try to keep all things nice and simple. But I'm the administrator. I'm the only one to post anything in there. But it's the same thing as with the group. You know, I put in like at least 10 items a day, whether it's a video, whether it's a post, whether it's a picture, anything. I put stuff in there. Right now we have 547 people who like it, and there's over 1,800 people who are following it. Okay. So, I mean, go to both of them. And the nice thing about it is I don't like mix them. I don't commingle. Like whatever I put in the page, I don't put for the most part on the group. I put maybe 1 or 2 things maybe per day. I might share them. But for the most part, 90% of the stuff that I put in the page, I don't put in the group. And likewise, whatever goes in the group does not go in the page. So please go to the page, like it and follow, and go to the group and become a member. And you'll get a boatload of New York Giants stuff every day. And as I always say, if you're not happy, you get your money back, guaranteed. All right. So with all that stuff said and done, now the Giants injury, they seem like they're relatively healthy. They got some guys that are limited. Okay. Azeez, once again, I don't know. Guy can't seem to catch a break. He got kicked in the quad, I think, by Cousins, I believe it was. And so, but did not participate. There's nobody. Okay, there's full participants. Jason Pinnock with his abdomen. That's thankfully because he's the one that got rushed to the hospital. Remember, and he flew back with the team and all. So thankfully, everything was just fine. Thankfully. Okay. And Adoree Jackson. Now, he full participant, but now he's on there listed as his back. Who knows? He had his problem with his knee. Now he got a problem with his back. So we really need him on the field. Really need him on the field. Going up against the Eagles and their wide receivers and their tight ends and all that, right? But guys were limited in practice. Landon Collins with his ankle, okay? Isaiah Hodgins with his ankle. If you ever saw his ankle, I'll tell you what. There was a picture of it. I mean, it was blown up, looked like a balloon, and that was before the game. And he made a caption in there. He said, "This is my foot before the game." And then he made a funny quote. Said, "And don't make fun of me if I don't run fast," because it looked like it was blown up like a balloon. It was bruised. It was it was blown up. He needs the rest of that baby. I'll tell you what. But he was just limited. Julian Love with his hamstring. He's an important part too. We need him in there. Fabian Moreau with a hip. He was limited, and Azeez Ojulari with his quad. Oh my God! Every week, a guy has something different. I mean, it's either a knee, an ankle. Now it's a quad. I mean, he had a calf. I mean, earlier on, he had a calf. He's missed so much time. Even games he's played in, he only participates in a handful of plays too. But hopefully, he would be huge if we could get a healthy Kayvon and a healthy Azeez out there on Saturday. That would be huge. Now, apparently, Kayvon is fine. Okay. Nice thing is I don't see anything about Leonard Williams here. Okay, as far as limited or anything like that or whatever. His neck is, I'm sure, is a problem, but he's not listed at all. But hopefully we can get Azeez out there, and we got Sexy Dexy. So keep your fingers crossed. Everybody comes back, and we're all healthy, good to go. Okay, like we were against the Vikings, right? That would be huge, right? Then I saw this article. It ain't nothing huge or anything like that, but it says it shows a video too, and the Eagles apparently, I guess they were cheating. I mean, game officials reportedly alerted regarding possible use of illegal aids on PATs and field goals. And the Eagles are up there. There's a video out that shows, well, what it was, let's see here. The game in which the Eagles beat the Giants 14,242-1. The Eagles, their main holder got hurt. Okay. So their emergency holder, looks like Britton Covey, subbing for punter Aaron Sipos after he left the game with an injury, was spotted picking up what looked to be a small white object off the field. Yes, it was. Yeah, if you see the video, yes, it was. After a field goal attempt by kicker Jake Elliott, the video of which can be seen here. So this article is in Giants country, okay? It says game officials reportedly alerted regarding possible use of illegal aids on PATs and field goals. And, yep, the Eagles were cheating. Yep. I mean, it ain't the end of the world. But since per the NFL rulebook, Rule 11, Section 4, Article 5, no article of any type may be placed on the field or used in any manner to assist a player in the execution of a field goal and or extra point try attempt. And that's what the Eagles did. Apparently, I guess maybe it was to put it so he put it down on the field so he knew where to spot exactly where to put the ball at because he was the emergency. I guess if you're the normal guy, you kind of got to feel, you get the ball and you put it down. But I guess he put this little thing down on the field to help him spot the ball. Now it's not. Once again, it's not the end of the world, but it's not within the rules. They should have been called on it, right? But it doesn't matter because it also talks about if the Eagles missed out every one of their extra points and every one of the field goal attempts in the December, I think it was 11th game, where the Eagles beat the Giants by 74,000 points, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. But I mean, it's something that to keep an eye on. Because it was cheating, right? And it's like what they used to say about the New England Patriots, with Spygate and Deflategate and all that stuff. They say, if you ain't trying, you ain't cheating. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I guess it is, or something like that. So have to keep an eye on that. McGahee admitted that it helps a kicker working with a new holder because it leaves a visual spot for the kicker to hit. And also, I guess, a visual spot also for the guy to put the ball down on. He's putting a spot down, putting his finger there, and the kicker, I'm going to put the ball right here. And the kicker, okay. So when a guy gets the ball, he gets it back and he puts it right down on top of that little whatever that white disc was, right? So he winds up putting it down exactly where he said he was going to put it down at, but he's not supposed to have that there. That's cheating, okay? But McGahee said he's not about to alert the officials Saturday night when the Giants play the Eagles in a divisional round. Going to let them do them, and we're going to do us, he said. I ain't going to worry about what they do. My primary focus is our guys, our battery taking care of that. I'm not going to worry about that. So, but I mean, it's, it is what it is, and I get it, all that stuff and everything, but it's cheating. And if you go on there, I said it's Giants country. And it says game officials have been reportedly alerted regarding possible use of illegal aids. You go down about halfway down the article, and it said the video of which can be seen here. If you click on that, it takes you to the video, and you see the spotter putting the ball down, okay? And when the ball gets kicked, the little white disc or whatever it is goes flying about a foot or so. And the spotter picks it up, and they go off the field, right? So there was something down on the field he put down as a visual aid, right? It's not supposed to be there, so they were cheating. But as I said, it wouldn't have mattered anyway in the game. But, once again, it's with the Eagles, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right? So, but anyway, then finally I want to go over, they got, some of the concerns the Giants are going to have on offense, okay? When they play against the Eagles. Now, this is a little bit of a different breed, of animal here, right? The Giants are not playing, the Colts. The Colts defense, for the most part, the Colts have a respectable defense, okay? It's just their offense was just really bad, okay? But, I mean, the Colts, it's not the 85 Bears. It's not the fearsome foursome. It's not the steel curtain. The Giants were able to put up some points. And it's the same thing with the Vikings. The Vikings, the Giants just played the Vikings a few weeks ago. So the Giants scored some points there. Okay. They scored some points against the Colts, and they played the Vikings again. They scored some more points. So we're not playing like the greatest defenses of all time here. Now, we played against the Eagles, but they're backups. Okay. and we only scored, the 16 points. Now, possibly if we didn't go for that fake field goal, we might have had 19 points, right? But it is what it is. It didn't matter. The Giants didn't need to win it, But anyway, but I mean, the Giants, were over the past month, really their starters, shall we say, did not go up against phenomenal defenses. All right, you figure the Vikings, the Colts, and the Vikings again. All right, the Giants starters for the most part. Okay, but now now the Eagles obviously really wanted to win that game, the last game of the season, where the Giants put all the backups in there and all, and But if the Eagles did not win that game, for somehow the Giants really shocked them and beat them, okay, the Eagles, they might have lost the number one seed or whatever, but they still were in the playoffs. There still was going to be another game for them. Okay, now we're at the point where there's no tomorrow. You lose, you're out. Okay, there's no tomorrow. There's next season. Okay, but there's no tomorrow. All right. So I mean, the Giants, they're going to have they got obviously they have some concerns. Okay, going against them. One of the things that I do like, okay, was in between the two games that they played, even though they got totally annihilated, okay, against the Eagles the first time, and they had the backups in there, and a third string quarterback in there. Okay, the Giants only turned the ball over one time in both games, which was huge. And the Eagles turned it over one time. Okay. Each game was one love. The Giants had one turnover in the first game while the Eagles didn't have any. And the Eagles had a turnover in the second game where the Giants with their backups did not have any. Now, the one turnover the Giants got against the Eagles in the second game was huge because it kept them in the game because the Eagles were in field goal range. Hurts was rolling out to his right, threw into the end zone. Dane Belton intercepted it. Okay, bad pass, right? If he just threw the ball into the ground or threw the ball into the 37th row or something, whatever, or if he ran and got out of bounds or whatever, he took a knee, whatever, right? Took a little bit of a sack, just took a knee, right? They probably would have kicked the field goal, okay? And it would have been 25-16. So the Giants, even if they recovered that onside kick and scored some type of a miraculous touchdown, they still probably would have lost it. What I mean? But I mean, that was huge. The interception was huge because it derailed at least 3 points for the Eagles. Okay. So I mean, that was one thing. I mean, the Giants are going to need that they're going to need. That's going to be huge. Now, one of the problems they're going to have. All right, I said this here. Okay. Is the fact that they're going to have to try to curtail the defensive pressure, the onslaught that the Eagles can get. There's this article here. Giants are preparing to slow the 70-sack Eagles defense in divisional round matchup. Now, they don't blitz. Okay, the Eagles do not blitz. Okay. I think out of the 70 sacks that they got, if I read it correctly, okay, Reddick, okay, I think, is it him? Who's the one there? Let me see. Is he the one? Yeah, Hassan Reddick. Okay, they got him as like a linebacker, but he's like an edge rusher. I mean, so he's like part of the defensive front. Yeah, you could say he's the linebacker or whatever, but when you get 16 sacks, guess what? You're like an edge rusher. You're a defensive end / edge rusher, whatever. You're part of the defensive front. I mean, to me. Okay. So the thing is that, they have 70 sacks, but they don't blitz. I think if I remember correctly, is that out of the 70 sacks between actual linebackers, safeties, and cornerbacks, they only have 6.5 sacks between the rest of them. So my math is right. It'd be 63.5 sacks, okay, from their front wall, from basically the front four, right? They have 4 guys there all the time, okay? So you're not going to get you ain't getting a Wink Martindale kind of thing, blitzing off the corner. Let's bring a safety up. Let's send two middle linebackers in the A gap, and the other guys take care of everything. You're not going to see much of that. They don't have to. That's not one of the reasons why they're so good. Hey man, if you could just blitz four guys and get send the normal four guys without blitz, maybe you want to stunt here or there, whatever, but just send your front four, get 70 sacks. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. That way you keep seven guys in coverage all the time. And then, of course, out of your seven guys in coverage, you got Slay and Bradberry. You got two phenomenal cornerbacks, right? Then they also have who is the guy? They got the one safety. Gardner Johnson. He has six interceptions. They are opportunistic. They have the Eagles have only thrown 9 interceptions. Okay, but the Eagles defense has picked off 17. They've also recovered, I believe it's been 12 fumbles as well too. Okay, fumble recoveries. No, I'm sorry, 22. So the Eagles have gotten 39 turnovers. Okay. Now, as I said, only one of them was against the Giants. So basically, they've got 38 turnovers in 15 games, right? So they're getting like 2.5 turnovers a game, besides all the other games besides the Giants, okay? They said there's a article here. The Giants know their success Saturday night against the Eagles will come down to the trenches and how the offensive line holds up against the NFL sack leaders. Brian Daboll said they're really good. They're hard to block. They can stop the run. They got a lot of really good players. Now, one of the things that went out, and I'll say I went out and got Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh, too, who were very good in the middle, clogging up the run lanes. Now, I think Linval Joseph even actually has a half a sack, but you don't get Linval Joseph to get sacks, okay? He's there and Suh's there basically just to clog up the middle, okay? And that's what they do very, very well, okay? I said the Eagles generated 70 sacks this season, which leads the league, the third most in NFL history. The 84 Bears had 72 sacks. The 89 Vikings had 71 sacks. Okay, so now the 2022 Eagles have 70, but they have 70 sacks, but they also had an extra game over the Bears and the Vikings. Now the Bears and the Vikings who have 71, well, that's great, but they played 16 games. The 1967 Oakland Raiders in 67 had 67 sacks in 14 games. They almost averaged 5 sacks a game. So if you prorate that out to 17 games, they would have over 80 sacks. Okay, so it depends upon how many, the Eagles, don't get me wrong, 70 sacks is freaking phenomenal. I would take that any year. Of course, they're freaking phenomenal. But they're talking about passing records and all that. Well, yeah, once you start playing more and more games, yeah, you're going to start getting passing records and all that. Right? But besides that, they got Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, Javon Hargrave, and Fletcher. Fletcher Cox has 7, but 4 of them have over 10 sacks. It's just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Hargrave has got 11. Reddick has got 16, Sweat's got 11, and Brandon Graham's got 11, and Fletcher Cox has 7. It's unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. They just keep bringing guys off the side and all that, and just putting, it's amazing. Now, the last time, they did not sack Davis Webb. What was it? I believe Evan Neal played like the first half or so. Matt Parrott played the second half. I believe it was in the last game of the season. And Hargrave did not get a sack at all. I'm sorry, Hassan Reddick did not get a sack at all in that game because nobody sacked the quarterback. We had a couple other sacks, but none of them actually sacked Davis Webb. None of them actually sacked the quarterback. Okay, so they did a good job, okay, against the front wall of the Eagles. All right, but just So it definitely starts with how many guys they have. Andrew Thomas said per the team's website. Most teams, they have a perimeter pass rusher and they have rotation of guys after that. They have guys that rotate and that would start on other teams. That obviously just let you know the talent level. Their coaches do a good job with scheme. Yep. They don't just straight rush all the time. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They run different schemes depending on which D tackle is in. That makes a difference. Yeah. Philly was the only team with 5 players at 35-plus quarterback pressures as well. 5 players with 35 or more quarterback pressures this season. Phenomenal. The Eagles had 50 sacks and 10.9 sack percentage when using 4 fewer pass rushers this season, both which are NGS era single season records. They also had 15 more sacks than their closest competitor, which is the Chiefs. They had 70 sacks. The Chiefs had 55. Right. In their Week 14 meeting against Philly, the Giants gave up 7 sacks, including 4 on Jones before he sat the fourth quarter out of the blowout. Jones was pressured on 34.7% of his dropbacks in the regular season, the 4th most in the NFL per Next Gen Stats. Let's see. Thomas is a rock, but elsewhere the Giants have struggled to protect. Most notably, rookie right tackle Evan Neal has been through the ringer in his first season. Oh yeah, he's hopefully we're kind of hoping, as time goes by, he'll get better and better. Okay, but I mean, they're one. If you're looking at a huge concern for the New York Giants, it would be without question. It would wind up being, the front wall. Now the thing is that you have an opportunistic secondary. You got Slay, you got Bradberry, who are very good at containing. Slay's good at, very, very good. Okay. He did give up Galladay's 1 touchdown. Okay. But, I mean, Slay, for the most part, is a very good cornerback. James Bradberry, is, especially if you got him on the other team's second best wide receiver, very good match for the Eagles there. They do intercept some passes, okay, but the thing is that the pressure that they create, it's tough for the Giants, especially the Giants don't have any, Slayton would be like their burner. There were a couple times where Slayton in the first game, or we had some guys deep. I remember hearing a couple times the guys got behind Bradberry, okay, and there were, the possibility there was of completing a pass. However, he did not have enough time in the pocket, meaning Jones, okay, so he could not step up and throw the ball down the field. That's one of the problems. As far, unless you're going to bring in keep a back in the backfield, right? Maybe bring Nick Vannett in, have 5 guys blocking. Maybe max protect, send just 3 wide receivers out. One of them goes deep. As I said, have a, if you're gonna maybe have Hodgins out there, Slayton and Richie James, have 3 guys out there. Maybe Slayton goes deep. Right. And then you have maybe 7 guys blocking their 4. And you kind of hope that maybe 7 can control their 4 and give Daniel Jones a couple seconds in the pocket. That might be something to think about, obviously. But I mean, you just know it's going to be very, very difficult if we send out, we just keep 5 guys in the pocket, 5 guys in to pass protect against their 4. Very, very difficult. As I said, I mean, they just don't stand there and just rush to 4. I mean, they have some schemes, they mix things up, which makes it very, very difficult. One of the things that the Giants obviously could do would be if you get the tight end on the one side, when it's called, he runs and boom, he chips against their edge rusher, right? Knocks him back or whatever, takes a little steam out of his rush. Then, Bellinger runs out and runs his pass pattern. Or if you got Saquon in the backfield, Saquon goes out the other side. He runs out. He hits the other end, takes a little steam out of his rush, and then he goes out and runs his pattern, right? They have to do stuff like that. They have to try to keep things short. They're going to have to, it would be nice to see if they take a couple shots, because if they could take a couple shots, right, gets it in the Eagles' minds, they might throw a little deep, because, it's always be in the Eagles' minds regardless. But I mean, if you actually go out and do it, that's something else, especially if you do it early. Keep them in their mind. Because I mean, if you just try to dink in, and obviously, the shorter the pass, the higher percentage of completing it all. But it's kind of tough to dink and dunk your way against a good defense with a good pass rush. 80 yards, 15 plays, 80 yards. Keep doing that over and over and over. It's very, very difficult. It really is huge if you can get a chunk play in there. As I said, I forgot what the percentage is, but there's a certain percentage that if you get a pass play or a play on your drive of 20 yards or more, it goes up. Your chance of scoring a touchdown goes up like dramatically. It goes up from I forgot what it was, from 15% up to 35% or something like. It goes up a lot. If you can get one big play, one nice chunk play, 20, 25, 30-yard play, because basically it can take you from your side of the field onto their side of the field. Now you're almost in field goal range, right? And even if you don't get a touchdown, you still got a shot at maybe kicking a field goal, right? But some of the Giants are obviously going to have to, do their homework. They got to, you got to take a shot or two. And when you take those shots, maybe max protect. Give Daniel Jones 3 seconds in the pocket, 3-4 seconds in the pocket. Let somebody go down deep. Because, the beauty of a nice deep pass, right, is that at the time he starts throwing the ball, the guy who's running the pattern only has to run maybe 30 yards, maybe 3 seconds, right? Because then you throw the ball up in the air, the ball goes up, say it's up in the air for 2 seconds. Well, in those other 2 seconds, if it's Slayton, he can go, he's 30 yards down the field when he lets go of it. Well, by the time it comes down, it could be 50 yards down the field, right? But you got to have those 3 seconds. If you don't have those 3 seconds, you're screwed, right? The Giants, have to keep themselves out of third and long. Second long, third and long. The nice thing about second and long is you don't have to get all back on one play. Say he gets sacks, and now it's 2nd and 15. Okay, yeah, that stinks. But now you got 2 plays. Let's see if we can get 7 on one. See if we can get 8 on the other. Right. 3rd and 15. Now you got to get all 15 obviously on one play. So they have to do the best. Because as I said, we're going against a different breed of animal here. It ain't the Vikings, right? It's not the Colts defense, right? And you have to stay away from those 3rd and longs. Running the ball would be huge as well. Being able to run the ball, control the clock, also keeping the Eagles on the sideline would be huge as well too. Now, whether that means, I hope it doesn't mean Daniel Jones is going to run the ball once again 17 times. But I would like to see that switch, right? Saquon, I think, ran at 9. Daniel Jones ran at 17. Now, some of Daniel Jones' runs were designed. Others were not. Others, he dropped back and Moses was there and the sea parted up and he just took off with it. He got first downs with it. That's going to be huge. If Daniel Jones sees an opportunity to take off, okay, do it, get what you can, get the hell down. Don't take a hit. If you can take a hit, hopefully it winds up getting a flag, okay? But that's going to be huge. Get every yard you can, say get down, but if you can take off and get a first down, that's freaking huge, right? So, but I would like to see, as I said, get Saquon in there, right? Get him some carries because he didn't have a lot of touches last time. You figure the last game of the season, right? He was on the sideline. He was a cheerleader, but he didn't get no touches. Last week, he didn't get many touches. So, they're resting him up. All right. I don't. You rest them up too much, the season might be over before you can really use them. They're going to use them. I'll use them this week, right? Because you can give anybody fits. Of course, you got to have, you got to have the blocking and all and everything. But I would like to see him get at least 17 runs, and maybe Daniel Jones gets the 9. And out of his 9 runs, maybe 4 of them are designed. 5 of them are scrambles where he maybe picks up first downs. That would be huge. Anything the Giants can do to extend drives is huge. Keep the clock running. Keep them with the ball. Keep the Eagles onto the sideline, right? Stay out of third down and longs where the Eagles can just freaking tee off on you. Try your best to avoid the sacks. And I would definitely try to take some shots downfield. And when you're going to take shots downfield, I said, if you're going to keep 7 guys in to protect, if our 7 guys can't block their 4 guys, it's going to be a long, long day. But definitely takes at least a couple shots downfield because you got to open the field up a little bit. You don't start opening the field up a little bit. You just start, moving in. We really don't have anybody that can take a short pattern and just take it to the house. Right. So, but the Eagles, the Giants can definitely, without question, they have their work cut out for them. It's going to be a heck of a game. Going to be a heck of an atmosphere. Looking forward to it. But the Giants, they're going to have to play a really good, solid, easier said than done, mistake-free game. Obviously, against a very good, opportunistic defense. To say mistake-free game is, mistake-free and sack-free would be even better. But, Giants really have the work cut out for them because this is going to be a tough team to beat, without question. But any given Sunday, anything can happen. Well, guys, it's been 36 minutes. Anybody spent any time at all watching any of this? Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate you guys. Rock. Anybody watches any of the replay of this, once again, thank you so much. It means the world to me. It really does. Thank you so much. And as always, guys, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.